Hi everyone, and thank you for purchasing Fixlite. I decided to do a short unboxing video to demonstrate how to assemble the product in the most practical way. So please don't try to do it without watching this video because there are some steps that should be followed in the specific order. So let's see what you'll find inside the box. When you open the box, you'll find the flyer with the QR codes that you scan, and obviously this is how you see this video. Also, you'll find a pouch with softboxes. We'll open this later. You'll find two speed rings. On these two speed rings, you'll mount the softboxes, but again, we will see this in a minute. We'll put this aside. You'll find a set of screws that you'll use to mount the circles on the bracket. Again, I'm going to show you how. And you'll also find some flash holders depending on the system that you ordered. For example, these are the flashes for the Nikon R1C1 or Meike MK24. They are actually identical. If you order Fixlite for Godox, you'll find these flash holders. If you ordered Fixlite for Canon MT24 or Yongnuo 24EX, these are the flash holders, and so on, depending on a system that you order on the website. This is Nissin i40 or Canon EL100, and these are the flash holders for Canon 270EX. The last thing that you'll find in the box is the bracket, and you will notice that actually the fast release couple has already the plate mounted, so you have to detach it by rotating the silver trigger first and then the big black trigger, and then the fast release plate is going out. So what you have to do now is to mount this plate on the camera. Any camera has this channel here on the base of the camera, so basically you have to mount this plate by screwing the plate on the base of the camera, and you have to pay attention on the direction of the plate. If you notice here, there is a sign saying lens on the long side and lens on the short side. So basically you take the long side and align it with the lens. Okay, so squeeze this screw, align it, then give it a little bit more torque. Not too much, because you will still be aligning the camera on the bracket later on, and you will finally torque it after the camera is aligned. So this is enough for the meantime. Put this part down. And let me show you how you attach the camera on the bracket. So basically you attach this part first here in the front, and when you reach this position, just press and this black trigger will go inside. You push it a little bit more and then you rotate the silver trigger, because this is the safety trigger. If you push this trigger inside, you cannot open the black trigger. However, if you open the silver trigger first, you can open the black trigger and remove the camera. So once again, I completely opened the black trigger. You will hear a click, click. Camera goes with this part in front. I press, this is jumping inside. I push it a little bit more, and then I rotate the safety trigger. From this moment, you can put the camera in this position on the box, just to avoid scratching the table. And I mounted the camera on the bracket on purpose because the camera is heavy and is keeping the bracket in a position that makes it comfortable for you to continue with the assembly. In this way, you don't need your assistant to help you. If you have your assistant helping you, this is good. Otherwise, you can do everything alone. Next thing that we have to do is to mount these two circles on the bracket. Obviously, these two circles should be mounted in this position to be at the same level with the lens. Let's open the pouch with the screws. Let's remove all the screws. And what you have to do is to take the flash holders and attach the flash holders in this channel, okay? From this direction, not from this direction, not from here. It will not go inside. Always try to find the path of insertion from this side. So this is the flash holder for Nikon or Meike. If you have the flash holder for Godox, it will go like this. You will notice that every time you insert the flash holder in the circle, these channels should be aligned. Yeah. Let me take the flash holders for Canon. The same idea. It glides inside, and you have to forcefully push it inside until these parts are properly aligned. Yeah. And when you look through these channels, you will see that the holes are properly aligned. Okay, so for the sake of the demonstration, let's just mount the Nikon flash holders. So once again, I'm gliding, I'm positioning the flash holder, and then I will take the caps and I will position the caps in these hexagonal slots. If they don't go inside, you have to rotate a little bit just to find the right path of insertion. So the caps are positioned here. Then I'm holding these caps with my fingers. I'm taking the screws. And you notice here you have a channel and one hole. First you have to mount the screw in this hole. And I will take the Allen key and I will just partially torque it, not all the way down. Next screw in this channel. Next will go here. So you always have to keep your fingers on the caps because otherwise they can fall down. So I didn't torque the screws all the way on purpose for the meantime because I want to show you something. You can actually rotate this circle. You will see that after a few minutes. So I hope that everything is fine until now. Next step will be to attach the softboxes on the speed ring. So basically you take the black softbox, you open it, and please position it in this way. You basically take the small opening of the softbox and insert it by rolling it over the speed ring, okay, in this position. So again, take the softbox, the small opening, insert it over the speed ring. And then next step will be to open all the velcros. So open the velcros. And it's really important and practical to take one of the poles, for example, and with a sharp end here, you can just enlarge a little bit the pockets from the velcro insertions like this, okay? So it's easier for you to attach these ends when you assemble the softbox. So please do this for all velcros. So place this end here, just enlarge it a little bit. Actually, you can squeeze the velcro a little bit just to have some space in this area. It will be much easier for you to assemble the softbox. I'm doing this for all the velcros. That's it. So the next step is to position the steel poles in these channels. So please pay attention, each speed ring has these channels on the lateral area. So in this channel you are inserting the steel poles. Okay, one here, so not straight, in this angle is like 30 degrees angle. You find your way inside the channel and then push, and the same goes for the others. And the last one here. So now the next step will be to tighten the softbox over the steel poles. But before doing this, please pay attention at the orientation of the softbox, okay? It should not be like this. It should be oriented in such a way that the logo will face this lateral side. This is important for aligning the softbox. So the logo is here. Then I'm taking the velcro one by one and I am inserting the poles. See, that's why it was important to enlarge the pocket first. I'm going with a second one. I squeeze a little bit so I can have space. It goes here. Next one here. Squeeze to create some space. And the last one here. Squeeze and insert the steel pole. So now we have this situation when all the steel poles are inserted in the velcros, and now we have to basically tighten the softbox over these steel poles. But please pay attention, there is one very important detail. This part here, if you notice, this part should be actually outside. So you should place it outside like this, okay? Why? Because if it's inside, like for example now, if it's here, when you tighten the softbox, it will be actually in the way of the softbox being completely tightened on the steel poles. So again, make sure that this part here, you just put your hand here and just keep it outside. So now, if it's outside, it's safe to tighten the softbox. So I'm taking the softbox from this corner. I'm holding the Velcro. I'm taking the softbox, and one by one, I do this move where I actually connect the Velcro on each corner. One here, one here. So I'm holding the Velcro with one hand. With the other one, I take the corner and I tighten it. Okay, and even you can detach and realign if you're not happy with alignment. For example, here, see, it's not completely, the Velcro is not completely tightened here. I'm just detaching and I'm realigning. And I make sure the Velcro is secured. And then I'm taking the softbox and just make sure that the softbox is nice and tight over the speed ring and over the steel poles. Just by moving the fabric and make sure that everything is nice and tight. Last thing to do is to take the white diffuser and attach it over the black softbox just by aligning every corner. Okay, so I'm coming from here, this corner goes here. See that the poles are flexible, so you can actually push the softbox like this and align everything. That's it. So let me do the same on the other side. So both softboxes are mounted on the speed rings and we are ready to attach the flashes, but before doing this, please pay attention to one aspect. See, basically the lens is not in the middle of the two softboxes. So what you should do is actually to take the setup and just try to move the camera left or right. Okay, try to rotate a little bit, because you torque the screw with your hand only, and I will explain you how to completely torque it now. So just move it, and now it's in the middle. And after it's in the middle, gently remove the setup and finally torque this part, this screw, such as this plate will never move, will never rotate from here. So now when you put the camera back on the bracket, the camera will be in the middle. Also, because you didn't torque the screws all the way, you notice that actually you can rotate the softboxes. So you can mount the softboxes in this position, like in a complete lateral position. And this is something that you might prefer to do. For example, when you shoot anterior teeth, you will have the reflections positioned on the transition lines of the teeth. If you shoot with the softboxes oriented towards the lens, you will have this result. If you know that you will shoot mainly anteriors, you can keep the softboxes in this position and take the Allen key and completely torque the screws in this position, such as the softbox will not move from this position. If you are doing more posterior dentistry, you can just position the softbox inside and torque it all the way to secure this position. If you want to switch between the two positions, then you have to torque the screws, but not all the way, just enough to let the softbox go from one position to another. However, it should not be loose, so I'm just checking with the Allen key the torque. Okay, from here to here. And eventually, from time to time, don't lose this key. You might have to torque it back slightly. So after the softbox is mounted, we have to insert the flashes. So here on this side, we have the flash holder for Nikon or Meike. So basically, I'm taking the Nikon flash. I'm opening this connection. You should see the red part here. And I'm positioning the flash in this way. I incline it a little bit so the front part will go first. After it went in place, I make the flash straight and I push the trigger, and that's it. And it goes the same with the Meike flashes because this connection is identical. Let me take the Meike flash. So this is the Meike flash. It's almost identical with the Nikon one. I have to open it. There is no color here, no sign, but it's obvious when it's opened. Okay. In the same way, I place it here. I incline it a little bit so the front part will go inside. I push it straight, and that's it. The flash is attached. Okay, on the other side, just for the sake of the presentation, we will mount the Godox flash. The Godox flash holder is already mounted, but just let me show you something that is really important to know before mounting the Godox flash. When you will buy the Godox flashes, you will find inside the box this part separately. Okay, so you should take this part from the box and insert it in this channel by holding these buttons pressed. So I'm pressing, I am gliding this part inside this channel, and I let go, and now this part will be attached. And before inserting the Godox flash in the flash holder, I make sure this part is completely inclined like this. And also this roll is completely opening the space here, okay? Because this will glide in the flash holder. Let me show you how. So I'm just positioning the flash here, and I'm inserting the flash in this channel, and then secure it by rotating this roll. It will tighten the flash on the flash holder. That's it. So let me remove one of these flash holders to show you how you can mount the Canon flashes. So I'm taking the Canon flash holder, I'm gliding the flash holder in the speed ring, but most probably you will find this already attached in the box. If by any chance it's detached before because of the transportation, you just take it and reattach it back in place by gliding until these two parts are perfectly leveled. So in this way the holes will be aligned, yeah? The holes will be aligned. So again, I told you it's better to have the camera mounted on the bracket, so you can do the assembly by yourself, because the camera is heavy and is holding everything in place. Okay, I take the softbox, I'm placing the caps. Inside the hexagonal channels, and remember you have to rotate a little bit. If it's easier, just detach it, place the screws, the caps in the hexagonal channels. Okay, place it back, align, and then attach the screws. In the same way I demonstrated for Nikon and Godox. So I've mounted both flash holders for Canon on both sides, just to show how you can attach the Canon flashes on Fixlite. Of course, you cannot mount it like this. First you have to detach the flashes, and I'm actually detaching the flashes by pressing this button here. So the one flash is off. Second one, I remove the ring. I don't need the ring anymore. I attach the camera in Fixlite, as I've explained you. First front, and then I press, I secure, and I squeeze the black trigger, so the camera is securely attached in place. And if you order Fixlite for Canon, you will also find inside the box some silver screws that you will previously attach in this channel here. Okay, don't torque it completely, but you need some space. I will show you why. So I'm inserting the screw here. Okay, that's it. And then I take the Fixlite and make sure this angle is completely pushed in this direction, and it goes like this. You insert it in the channel, and then the screw, you just torque it against the flash holder. That's it. You can always remove it if you want, just by detaching the screw partially, remove it or place it back in place. If you have Yongnuo flashes, the process is identical, because basically the flashes are identical. So you have the Fixlite mounted. I hope everything is fine. You have the flashes in place, you have the camera mounted on the bracket. You just attach your commander depending on your system and start shooting. You can access my online data photography course by scanning this QR code on the back of the box. And when you do this, you will find dedicated chapters for each flash system in particular. If you have Godox, if you have Nikon, if you have Meike, and even if you have Canon and Yongnuo flashes, you will find chapters where you can learn how to set the flashes for dental photography in particular. If by any chance you ordered Fixlite Plus, I will show you how to assemble the third softbox. If you ordered Fixlite Plus, you will also find inside the box one more speed ring, the black softbox, the white diffusers, and another set of 4 steel poles. Now, if you ordered Fixlite Plus for Nikon or Meike, you will already find the flash holder and this adapter already mounted. So you don't have to look for the flash holder and the screws in the box because they will be already attached in the third speed ring. So you can go ahead and continue with mounting the softbox on the speed ring. However, if you order Fixlite for Godos, we cannot attach the flash holder on the speed ring because it's too big and it doesn't fit in the box. And where you will find in the box, you'll find this connection separately. So basically, this is Godox setup. You'll find the speed ring, and you'll find separately the flash holder like you have seen in the first part of the video, and also you'll find the screws separately. So this you have to mount yourself, and I will show you how. So let's actually do this. Let's mount the flash holder for Godox in the third speed ring for the first softbox. And by the way, we cannot do the same for Canon because Canon has wires and Fixlite Plus is not for flashes with wires. So you have this adapter that will go on the base of the speed ring, and you have a set of 3 screws with 3 caps. And we do the same like when we assemble the main Fixlite. We basically take the caps, we insert the caps in these hexagonal channels. We make sure it's straight. If it's like this, it will not go inside. Okay, you have to keep it straight, rotate until you feel the path of insertion, and only then you push it all the way inside. Let me rotate here. Okay. Then in the same way I attached the main Fixlite. I'm placing the flash holder here. It will not go more than this level, it will block here anyways. And the most important thing is now to attach the connector for the tripod. You'll see how I attach the third softbox on the tripod. So make sure this part is outside, okay? The part that will accommodate the screws. The screws will go here, and this is outside. Don't place it like this because it will not fit properly. Basically, the screw will not catch the cap. In this way, you will actually see the line of this silver screw here. Okay, this is your reference. So place it like this, put the screws inside, take the Allen key provided in the set and torque these 3 screws. So now we have the flash holder mounted on the ring. In the same way, the flash holder for Nikon and Meike is already mounted in the box. And from here, everything goes the same. Let's mount the softbox on the circle. This is a little bit more difficult. You might need the help of your assistant because somebody has to hold on the circle, and with the softbox you have to deal yourself. So in the same way, I'm detaching the velcros. I make sure I enlarge the pockets a little bit so this part can go inside easily. And eventually, if I work alone, I place the softbox on the table. I'm inserting the steel poles with the same clicking feeling, click. And then one by one, I am attaching the steel poles in the Velcro. And again, as I've told you when we mounted the main Fixlite, the logo should face one side, okay? Because this is not a square, this is a rectangular shape, and the logo has to be on the lateral side of the circle. It's more practical somebody to hold the circles for you, but it's doable. Okay. And from here, as I've told you, I'm holding one corner. I'm attaching the Velcro. One corner here, one corner here. And the last one here. I make sure everything is nicely arranged. For example, if I have this situation here, I prefer to put my hand inside and push it in such a way that it will be nicely arranged on the circle. That's it. I'm placing the white diffuser. And of course, I should also place the flash. Now the purpose of this connector here on the base of the speed ring is to be able to attach a table tripod like this one here. So you can insert it here. So you can use this tripod mounting solution to place the third softbox on the table. And for example, if you are shooting ceramics, you can just adjust the angle as you wish. Let's say you have the ceramics here, you put the third softbox in this position and shoot with main Fixlite from here, and you can really get creative by changing the position of the light and create really nice results. So that's pretty much it. I hope that everything went smooth for you. Thanks again for purchasing Fixlite. Let's stay in touch and let me see your great photos soon. That's it.
This is only the beginning.